It started with a tennis legend and a cause. Men and women competing equally in professional sports. Even some of her biggest supporters now doubted her at the time.
She was as passionate then about team tennis. And this was before it even started. I was like, you're crazy, it's never gonna work.
But after 35 seasons and over 800 players that have comprised the rosters of over 65 different franchise teams, no one is doubting now. With a history of innovation, a competitive fire, and a willingness to change, an alternative form of professional tennis has endured. This is World Team Tennis Game Changer, presented by Geico.
World Team Tennis. Tennis like you've never seen it.
Hi everyone, welcome to World Team Tennis Game Changer presented by Geico. I'm your host, Harry Chickma. World Team Tennis is professional tennis like you've never seen it. And for the next 30 minutes, you're going to learn all about the unique co-ed team format that is WTT. From its rich history to its place in sport today, to the marquee stars that take to its multicolored courts, to the innovative rules that make it exciting to watch and competitive to play. We're going to take you through it all. So if you've never heard of World Team Tennis or you've been a fan throughout the decades, join me as we take a look at the upcoming season starting July 4th.
Co-founded in the 1970s by Billie Jean King, World Team Tennis is a 9-team professional co-ed league comprised of 2 men, 2 women, and a coach on each team. The concept stems from a core value that is so important to co-founder Billie Jean King: gender equity.
Oh, it's so solid from Clijsters. Mac doing what he does best.
You get to see men and women, sometimes they're in a supportive role, and sometimes they're in a leadership role. So those things are very important, and I think particularly for young people, if they watch a World Team Tennis match, they're going to learn about how to be a great team player, how to cooperate, how to be a leader at times, and at other times be in a supportive role.
WTT has featured some of the greatest stars ever to play the game, and virtually every champion of the Open era.
We've had Rod Laver, Chris Evert, Martina Navratilova, Tony Roach, Ilie Nastase, all the way up through most of the great champions. Like even this season, 16 either former #1 and current #1 players. That's amazing, really, to have in our league, and we're very thrilled that they want to participate and help try to win for their city.
Played for 3 weeks between Wimbledon and the US Open, WTT is the summer kickoff to the hardcourt tennis season in America. With 9 teams, 11 markets, and 66 nights of tennis, the action is fierce and fast.
We are very open to change in World Team Tennis, and that means we're the first ones to do music, for instance, and experiment with it. We're the first ones to put names on the back of the shirts. We're the first ones to have the Hawkeye in competitive tennis, where the player or the coach could challenge the call. So you get that the audience is much more interactive with it. We want the audience to really be a part of it, not just to watch, but to participate in the experience. We think that's very, very important. We're the first ones to brand our court with color, with the multicolored court, back in the 70s, because we thought it would be better to be able to call lines for the linesmen and the umpires. It wasn't just form, it was also function.
Each year, WTT delivers a great lineup of talented champions, and this year is no exception. There are 16 current and former world #1 ranked players taking to the courts. We'll preview some key matchups next.
Well, it's been great playing team tennis because you have the team spirit, just like the whole atmosphere, really. We had great teammates and they cheer you on while you're down sometimes, and actually I missed out on a couple of matches and I really missed the team. I'm like calling all the time, what's the score, how are you doing? They win one, they lost one, but it's just been a lot of fun.
Welcome back to World Team Tennis Game Changer presented by Geico. WTT has always been entertaining for the fans, but it's the competition that has allowed the league to endure. Billie Jean King says pressure is a privilege and champions adjust. And there's no greater pressure, as we'll find out, than playing for your team.
In 2009, the Washington Castles came from 3 match points down to win their first WTT title. The Kansas City Explorers captured their first crown in 2010. They face off July 5th in our nation's capital with what could be a prelude to a postseason standoff. There are many great matchups to look forward to in July. Jimmy Connors and his Philadelphia Freedoms take on John McEnroe's New York Sport Times, while Kim Clijsters and Martina Hingis team up to try to bring the New York Sport Times their first championship since 2005.
When I play, I want to do well for the team, and I want to get as many points as I can, you know, and try to win. And that's what makes it so interesting. I mean, you have a lot of really good players, and you just try to, whenever you're there, try to just bring your best tennis, and hopefully you try and win the most matches.
And the St. Louis Aces are not to be overlooked, with Mark Philippoussis and the all-time WTA Tour money winner Lindsay Davenport both competing for St. Louis.
It's amazing how 3 generations of players all want to compete, they all want to win. So I think when you come together as a team, there's a lot more pressure to do well for your teammates. So I think that's the thing that people are most surprised about, is how the teams compete and how tight the competition is.
And the marquee stars are also eager to compete on the colored courts of WTT.
But great hustle from James, just kept running. Hooked that ball in, and he's fired up.
It puts pressure on almost every point, because every game counts, every point counts, and it's a way to make yourself focus right out of the gate. You can't kind of ease your way into a match. You got to be ready from point one. So I think it's a great thing. It helped me when I played the full season when I was starting my career, and I really think it made a big difference. We saw the kind of the altercation a couple years ago with the Castles and I think the Sport Times, and so guys are out there and they want to win, and we're all athletes and we're competitive, so it's it's going to be a very competitive season.
With stars running deep on many of the team rosters and great Grand Slam doubles champions like the Bryan brothers, Vanya King, Liesl Huber, and Philadelphia Freedom's own Lisa Raymond, this July is likely to be a horse race to the playoffs in each conference. Up next, we'll take a look at the rules and format that make this league so unique.
Team Tennis, what's really important to the co-founder Billie Jean King, and I think all the owners and even the World Team Tennis staff, is we really want to belong to the community. We want to have a year-round presence in that community. We want young kids, whether they're boys or girls, to grow up dreaming about potentially playing for their team, and we want to give back to each of these communities.
Welcome back. I'm Harry Chickma. When fans attend a match or watch World Team Tennis on TV, one of the first things they notice is that it's different, fast-paced and action-packed. Spectators are encouraged to cheer between points and root for their favorite team. Let's take a look at what mostly sets World Team Tennis apart from other professional tennis: the way it's played.
One of the most interesting aspects of WTT is its unique format and rules. In World Team Tennis, each match consists of 2 co-ed teams, 2 men, 2 women, and a coach. There are 5 sets: men's and women's singles, men's and women's doubles, and mixed doubles. And each set is played to 5 games instead of the traditional 6. Points are scored 1, 2, 3, 4 instead of 15, 30, 40 love.
1-0.
And WTT uses no ad scoring, so at 3 all in a game, the next point wins.
the format for World Team Tennis is very exciting because it induces pressure. When you have first to 4 points, when you have first to 4 games, when you have 3-all, a no ad scoring point, it really kind of induces pressure in. And also the format where I'm playing generally doubles and mixed doubles, you're on one match and then you're off for a set and then you're on for another set as well. So you're not quite sure whether you're going to be 2 sets in a row or 1 set first up and then another set last up. So it keeps you ticking, it keeps you kind of adjusting a lot, and that's what I like about it.
Cumulative scoring makes every game count, and in WTT you are never out of the match, considering the team ahead in total score must win the final set to win the match outright. On-court coaching and player substitutions provide a strategic element as the home team coach sets the playing order.
The whole league just produces the greatest product in tennis, which is excitement, fun, and great tennis.
You can make a difference with the players. You got them just for 3 weeks, but there's a little thing, a little of this, a little of that. You don't want to do that patient any harm, change anything, but there's some things you can do to help them. But they know I'm behind them 100%. I'm a player's coach. I care about them. I love them. We stay in touch throughout the year. Every player that I've had, I've been blessed to have them, and we're in touch to this day.
There's much more World Team Tennis Game Changer presented by Geico coming up next.